Good day. Have you ever wondered what has happened to our sense of occasion or why we dress up for an evening out? And what are the limitations and parameters surrounding a formal event? Well, we are going to answer all those questions and more on today's episode of Canadian Formal. Welcome and thank you for joining me on Canadian Formal. My name is Curtis Allen and I have a passion for making the men of the Great White North look and feel their very best. So on today's episode, we're going to go through what I encountered recently when I was at the Symphony. Now, it was wonderful to see live music again for the first time in nearly 2 years. But not all men were, dressed to the nines. I saw a lot of polo shirts, jeans, and sneakers. Now, we want to avoid that, and this is why I have created Canadian Formal, so that men will have the tools and knowledge as well as confidence to go into any situation. So for this particular event, we are going to break down two options for what to wear. One is a more formal option, the other is a more casual option, but both would be appropriate for a wonderful evening out. Let's start with option number one, and that's what I'm wearing now, which is a very traditional tuxedo. This tuxedo is by Yves Saint Laurent. It is a vintage piece. It is full wool construction, and as you can see, this tuxedo has notched lapels. You can also get tuxedo jackets with peak lapels or a shawl collar. Any of those would be appropriate. Now with that, all the lapels will have a satin finish to them and a single button. That's how you can really differentiate a tuxedo jacket with a suit jacket or a sport coat or a blazer. The other thing is that the back will not have any vents. It'll be a fully enclosed back. It will not have a single nor double vents. Now with the pants, there are options there as well. Some tuxedo pants will be pleated. The ones I am wearing are flat fronted with a button clasp. Now, I like a flat front trouser, especially with my tuxedo, because I have chosen as the shirt option to be a white tuxedo shirt with pleats. Now, if I were to go with one of the other shirt options, such as a bib option for a tuxedo shirt, then I may go with a pleated trouser. A little bit of contrast in those is nice. Now there are a couple other things you want to keep in mind with the tuxedo shirt. It should always be white, of course, and it should have French cuffs. This shirt does of course have French cuffs, and I have it with cufflinks, and these cufflinks are silver with blue and green embellishments. Now sometimes the tuxedo shirt will be studded instead of buttons down the placket of the shirt. In that case, you may be able to find studs and you may be able to find cufflinks that match. They will all come as one set, and that is fine. What I would not get as a set are the next two key features to a tuxedo, and that is the bow tie and the pocket square. Now, I like to have the bow tie and the pocket square contrasting colors. Not contrasting with the tuxedo, of course, but contrasting with each other. So you could go with a white bow tie and a black pocket square, but I like the look of black against the white pocket square. And of course, the black bow tie against the white shirt. So with those two key features out of the way, we then move to the third key feature, which is the cummerbund. Every tuxedo should be worn with a cummerbund, not with a belt. The vast majority of tuxedo trousers will not have belt loops, so you don't need to worry about that. But once you have the main staples of every tuxedo down, there's one last decision to make, and that is with the shoes. There are three very good options when it comes to tuxedo shoes. The most traditional shoe would be the Opera Pump. The Opera Pump is a beautiful, classic and classy way to wear with a tuxedo. The second option is what I have chosen here. And this is a black cap-toe Oxford by Gucci. And I've had these for 7-8 years, and they are my most worn pair of any dress shoes. Because they are black, they are very formal and will be appropriate with a tuxedo. Now, a couple things with the black cap-toe Oxford. Any of your shoes should have shoe trees. So I have the shoe tree here. I have chosen a plastic shoe tree with venting for good airflow. It is hinged and adjustable. You can of course also get wooden shoe trees. Sometimes the provider of the shoe will also provide shoe trees that match that particular shoe. That is the best case scenario. But we also have a third option for shoes, and that is the hole cut shoe. Now, before you go out with any of these shoes, you want to make sure that they are polished. A well-polished shoe, especially when it comes to evening wear, is absolutely critical. I like to give my shoes a quick polish before every time I wear them. But that's just me. So now that we've gone through a very formal tuxedo, we are now going to move on to the second option. And here we are with option number 2 for your elegant evening out. So this is a little bit more casual than our tuxedo, you might say. But let's begin with what makes it appropriate for an evening out. And number 1 is that you have to be wearing a jacket or sports coat of some sort. Be it a sports coat like this, a blazer, a suit jacket, or a tuxedo jacket as we just saw. A simple waistcoat or vest will not suffice in this case. This particular jacket is by Yves Saint Laurent once again. It is once again a vintage piece. And you'll notice the various brown tones within the jacket, which makes it quite versatile. It'll work with blues, it'll work with greens, certain orange shades, the full spectrum of brown can all work with this jacket. And with green shades in mind, we move then to the shirt. It is a very traditional button-down shirt by Hugo Boss with a satin finish. It does not have French cuffs. It is just as simple as a button-down can be. What does make it stand out is that satin finish. And satin finishes are wonderful for evening wear. I would not wear this shirt to a day event. I would wear it in the evening, especially if you're going to be inside. The way it catches the light as it just peeks through the coat above is beautiful. Now, the third piece to this puzzle is the trousers. Now, what I've chose to go with is a camel colored trouser by John Varvatos, which is a mixture of linen and cotton. Now, a linen cotton blend is excellent because it can work in spring, summer, or early fall. I would not wear it in the winter, however. What else is good about this trouser is that it has braces for suspenders. Now, that is a wonderful piece because though you won't see the suspenders, because of course your jacket will be on the entire evening, you do get the wonderful silhouette with a trouser held up by suspenders as opposed to a belt. I just feel they hang better, the garment drapes better when held up by suspenders and not a belt or even side adjusters. But there is one more key feature, and that is shoes. And before we get to the shoes, you'll notice there's no tie because I want this to be as informal as possible while still being appropriate for evening wear. So there is no tie, there's no lapel pin, there's no embellishments of any kind, and no adornments, and that is intentional because we want this to be the most relaxed possible option so that you can find whatever outfit works in your closet anywhere between these options of this and the tuxedo. And there is quite a few ranges in that section. So let's move on to footwear. And there is more options available for footwear with this ensemble as opposed to with the tuxedo. So you can go with a spectator shoe, you can go with a derby shoe. I would not go with boots, however a formal Chelsea boot could possibly work. But I like this tassel loafer in a darker camel shade. It is a tassel loafer, not a penny loafer, although either one would be appropriate. It is a tassel loafer by Diesel, and of course again, gotta have shoe trees in all formal shoes, perhaps all shoes period, but certainly begin with the formal shoes. And so this is a nubuck construction. Nubuck and suede are a slightly less formal option than if you were to go with a tassel loafer in leather, although that would also be appropriate with such outfit. And it has a double sole, so a much thicker sole, as you see there, a double leather sole. A very thin rubber sole on a loafer could also work if you have that. So today we have covered two options, a very formal option, a less formal option for evening wear. Now, we have not covered outerwear for the evening, and we will be doing that in future episodes. So do subscribe, ring the bell icon so that you will be notified as soon as we post additional videos. So today we just wanted to cover what you would wear to the event, give a couple of options, and allow you to make a more informed decision. So thank you for joining me. I'm Curtis Allen with Canadian Formal, and I want you to stay stylish.